Good morning, my name is Craig Blewett and welcome to our computer-mediated communication panel discussion. This forms part of our second week of our fourth-year students' learning experience at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. And in this panel discussion today, we're going to be looking at a really fascinating topic, and that is virtual worlds. And a lot of people are spending lots of time in virtual worlds, and we've got three experts who are going to hopefully shed some light on virtual worlds. Starting on my right here, I've got Tulani. He's from Linden Labs, and they are the creators of a very big virtual world called Second Life. Then we've got Evelyn, who, interestingly enough, this is her real form, but she has a clothing retail store in Second Life. So nice to have you with us, Evelyn. And then we've got Nati. He's from Ohio University, but the Second Life virtual campus. So that sounds interesting. And so welcome, Nati. So welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us. Maybe if I start with you, Tulani. Could you tell us briefly what is a virtual world?
Well, a virtual world is a world similar to the real world, but the thing is, it offers more benefits in such a way as, in a manner, you can fly in a virtual world, which you cannot do in a real world. You can look cooler. You can dress better. You can even have muscles if you wanted to.
Oh, so it's kind of quite appealing. You know, so for a woman, you know, who could have muscles, or, I mean, a guy.
A guy. Yeah,
a guy could have muscles, okay, and you could fly, but, you know, this sounds very exciting. You know, so you can change what you look, you can fly, but Evelyn, surely it's more than that.
Definitely it's more than that. When you look at it, there's the interaction part of it, where you can talk to anybody all around the world within their avatars that they choose to be in the net.
Okay, so it's an incredible place for communicating.
It's an incredible place for communicating, for business, because eventually you get marketing all over the world, because everybody anywhere can just log on.
Just to clarify something, just coming back, you mentioned the word avatar. What's an avatar?
An avatar is a representation of the user.
A representation, so it's like a little person that runs around.
Yeah, it's a person you get to choose. You get to design the person yourself, choose the clothing you want to wear, the physical appearance to the clothing, and yeah, that's it. Basically, the new personality. You can even change personality if you wanted to.
You could change. Well, that sounds could be quite appealing for a lot of people. Nati, do you need, like, it sounds like very fancy. Do you need special equipment in order to participate in all of this, or is it just any computer, or what do you need?
Yes, I would say you need some kind of special equipment, because first of all you need to have a computer and network connections where you're supposed to download the Second Life vision to your computer and connect it there.
Okay, so you obviously, so the basics you're requiring are a computer with an internet connection, and if you've got that, you can get involved in all of this.
So sometimes you need some avatars where you need to fill inside it and explore the world.
Okay. And also, you could also use an HMT.
HMT, wow.
Yeah, it's head-mounted display. You put it over your head, and you're in the real world.
Oh, okay, so
in the virtual world.
So there are virtual worlds where you actually wear special gear.
Yeah, and you're on it. Even the military uses it sometimes.
Okay, well, that sounds quite interesting. Well, could you maybe, Evelyn, you spend a lot of time, obviously, you've got this retail store in Second Life. Could you just maybe give our audience a little bit of a feel of what it looks like inside this virtual world? What's it look like?
Well, it looked more like the real world. You got everything, almost everything and more, what you get in the real world. You can create your own business, your own buildings, your house, your homes. I even recognized you can actually get married on the on the Second Life. I was like, wow. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. You get a lot.
So would you picking up, you've got a clothing store or something. Can you tell us a little bit about your store that you've got in there?
Okay, well, what I do is I put the designing. I do the designing mostly. I design the clothing. Then people come in and buy my clothing from the net.
So is this clothing for the little avatars or for real people?
It's for the little avatars, just to improve on your looks, to improve on the way you dress, just to better yourself there.
Okay, well then maybe just picking up on this, you know, what I mean, there's money involved, I assume, in this whole Second Life thing. Tulani, what money, how's the money work? Is it real money? What is it?
Well, the currency we use at London is called London dollars. Well, a London dollar equivalent to a US dollar is just under $270. You can buy, the London dollar is virtual, but the money you use to buy the London dollar is real money. Going back to Evelyn, she has a store, right? If somebody wanted to buy clothing from a store, they would use London dollars. But to get the London dollar, you need real money. And the money that she gets from selling at stores will be real money, not the virtual money that you use on the virtual environment.
So she's actually, at the end of the day, you're getting real money in your pocket.
Yeah,
in your bank.
we have the exchange platforms where you take your London dollars and then you exchange them into real dollars or real money. So it's
Okay, well, that sounds very interesting. Now, coming to you, Nati, you've got a campus. I mean, what do the students, how does that work? I understand university, real campuses. I mean, what would you be doing on this virtual campus? Do they actually learn there, or what goes on?
So I would say the university is trying to move away from the traditional method of teaching, where you enter into the virtual life, where it's more interacting, where you can learn and socialize at the same time and share information with your colleagues.
So what would be a benefit? I mean, at a normal university, I could go there and I could, socialize and chat and learn. I mean, what's the benefit of actually going into Second Life and coming to your campus that's in the virtual world? What are the benefits of that?
I think the benefit is that you can explore many things in Second Life. For example, you create an adventure there where you can interact with your peer educators and share some kind of information.
Okay. Yes.
And people tend to be shy in the real world, but in the virtual world, what will happen is, like in a class environment, it would be easier for a person to raise a topic and talk about the topic rather than as compared to the real world. Because people, there are some who are shy, there are some who are not shy. The shy ones get a chance to talk and be cooler and raise important topics in the course, and thereby learning more.
So you're saying, so your introvert type are actually better off. They can, as you said earlier, get really, good looking, and you say, is it better for that? They tend to come out of themselves more.
They tend to come out of the closet, yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds very interesting. Coming to you, Evelyn, again, you got this business. Does it really make money, or is it just, you spend more time
playing? It makes a lot of money. I get a lot of avatars coming in, wanting to change clothes now and then, wanting just my new design, what's the latest, and it's quite interesting. I get all sizes from early teenage, like 18 upwards, late teenage, up until grown-ups. It's quite interesting.
Okay, so you really are a clothing store. You don't have a niche market. Are you very trendy designs? Is there such a thing in this virtual world, or it doesn't matter? Well,
there's a lot. I try to balance each side. Yeah, but there's a lot to everything.
Okay. Now, maybe Nati could ask us, are there downsides to this whole, it's all very exciting. You've got education, you've got universities, you've got your store, but are there downsides to this virtual world, Second Life environment?
Yeah, there are downsides in this environment. For example, the space, the connection space, where a lot of people, let's say you have a land in the virtual environment, but then you'll find that you can't access it because somebody else is occupying that space.
Okay, so you could have, so there could be, I mean, maybe would you have this, that, you've got your store and there's an opening special, but your internet connection is down. You've got a problem now.
Yeah, you've got a real problem.
Or not to offend Linden Labs, but if they go out of business, does that take you out of business as well? I mean, everything goes with it. Is that a big risk?
Well, it doesn't really depend on them, because even when nobody is on the line, the world still continues. But then at the end of the day, it is up to you, to have my business working so that I get income from it,
Okay. And maybe an interesting one, Tulani, maybe you can pick up on this. In this environment, do you get, like in the real world, do you get these predators, people who could be, I don't know, pedophiles like we have in the real world, or people selling things they shouldn't be selling? Can that happen in the virtual world as well?
Yeah, it can. But London do have people who do have sort of security guards who are there to not really arrest them, but to prevent them from doing such things. There's a licensed officer there all the time. You could contact the officer and notify the officer of who invaded your space or did blah, 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 and you could take it up further.
Okay, so if there's like
Because, remember, there's only one unique avatar. You get to get one name, right? So if Mr. Craig was the pedophile, it would be simple to locate him and ban him from visiting the space.
Okay, so you can actually kick people off the network and then they can't be involved anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that all sounds very interesting, and it's a very exciting world, and the opportunities sound very interesting. I think what we'll do is open it to our audience and see if there's some interesting questions for our panel of experts. So over to the audience.
Hi. I just want to know, if I was interested in opening a retail store in Second Life, how would I go about doing it? Do you like sort of purchase the land, or do you rent it? And from who and how do you get it? How do you purchase the land basically? How would you go about opening the store, and how do you get the money? And when you purchase it, how can you stop somebody else from actually using that land and accessing it? Do you put a stop to it? If you own a store, can you stop them from coming in and stuff like that? So I just want to...
Okay, Tulani, maybe you can pick on that one.
Okay, you purchase land using Lindex dollars. In the stock market, it's called Lindex exchange. So if you want to purchase land, it's simple. You would go to the relevant people and purchase that land. It depends. It could either be land or island, and then design it himself. If you want to stop people from accessing your land, you can ban them. I think.
So once you've got ownership of a land, you've got control over what happens.
Yes, control over what happens, yeah. But Linden is not held responsible for what the users do.
Okay.
It's totally up to them.
Okay.
The content of the whole thing is around the people. Linden can't be held responsible for people's actions.
Okay.
I just want to add a point that for you to actually be able to buy space, you have to sign up for a premium account, which costs you $995 every month. So you got to be ready to do that. But then as soon as you've signed it, you got your space, you can apply for it.
Okay, so you can just be a normal visitor who comes in for free, but if you want to start as, like you suggested, you want to
partake, then you got to pay the monthly subscription of $9.
Okay, and then you can buy land. And I mean, just an interesting, maybe an adjunct to that question, is land different prices depending where it is?
Definitely. The most invited places, the most visited places would obviously cost more, because a lot of people get there, they get to buy, and they get to be interested. That shows that the prices can be the same.
And the prices also depend on the demand and supply.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yes.
Hi. I just wanted to find out how secure are payments over the virtual world. Just in case if I'm using my credit card, how I know that you're just taking my number and just taking my money away from me. What security measures do you use?
Okay. They're not completely safe. Like I said before, Linda is not held responsible for what the users do in the virtual environment. But you, as a user, must be very careful and you must take precautions to ensure that whoever you're dealing with is somebody you can feel a trust to.
I just want to say something that sometimes it gets very, very nasty. People just sell you transparent things, but then there's the way in which you can check the properties and check if they're real.
They're valid, yeah.
Yes, but then once you've got yourself a real deal, then you're on the safe side. As long as you have your lean dollars in good
You're okay.
shape.
Yeah.
I would say it's one of the downside of virtual world, but it's one of the key issues which are being attended, because a lot of people were complaining about the security issues there.
Yeah, so it's what you're basically saying. It's like the real world. You just got to be sensible.
Yes.
In the real world, I've got my credit card, or I'm going to buy something from someone. I've got to be.
Do a credit check before handing over your information over to the other party.
This is going to hurt you in the same way.
But you're still trying to better that situation. Yeah.
Okay, right. Any other questions?
I just want to know from you guys, where do you see virtual world in the next 5 to 10 years? Does it completely take over the real world? Do you see people sitting in front of the PCs the whole day and just playing on virtual worlds?
Okay, it's a good question. Maybe we go at Nati. I mean, do you see, for example, universities are going to disappear and this is going to be the thing?
I would say it's in the next 5 years or some years down the line, a lot of people are moving towards a second life. It's a place to be where, because a lot of interaction happens, a lot of information are being shared over there. So I see many businesses transforming from real world to second life.
What would you say? Would you say we're going to see less real stores and
Yes,
people? I mean, at the end of the day, I still need clothes.
Yes.
My avatar can have the best clothes in the world, but I need clothes as well.
Yes, I don't think it's necessarily going to replace the real world completely, but it's going to be part of it so much that over 50% of my life will be in the virtual world. So I got to look good in the virtual world,
So soon we might not even know whether we're in the virtual world or the real world. It'd be so confusing half the time. What would you say, Tulani? Do you also think it's your business is involved. You're not the only company involved. There are other companies, active worlds, etc. Do you see these virtual worlds becoming the thing, and business and education and everything eventually ending there?
Over the next 5 years, yeah, partly. I do feel we won't take complete control over the real world, because people still have to go to school, still have to go to work. You can't stay on the net all the time. It all depends on the person, because you can't spend your whole day on the computer not doing anything.
Yeah, so it really depends.
Yeah, it really depends.
Yeah, well, okay, thank you. I think we've had a fascinating time, and virtual worlds is a very exciting concept, and I thank you all for your interesting impact and input into this, and we'll see where it's all going. Thank you very much to our panel, and thank you to our audience.